Hi everyone! So for today's video, I'm going to show you how to achieve this look right here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Jaclyn Hill's Volume 2 palette in collaboration with Morphe. Now, I received this today by the mail and I'm so excited to play with this because if you know me, you know that I love my pinks, you know that I love my colors. So when I saw that Jaclyn made this palette, I was like, I need to get it. If you want to see how I like this palette and how to achieve this look, you can just keep on watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos 3 times a week, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content. And that's it, so let's get started with the palette. Alright, so let's get started. I'm so excited. I received this palette in the mail this morning, so I really wanted to do a first impression on this palette. I already have the Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette, so I really hope the formula is going to be the exact same. Let's jump into the palette. So when you open it, it looks like this. So keep in mind that I use natural lighting to film my videos, so this is probably going to translate very well on camera because I don't use like filters or I don't really change much settings on my videos, so I think it's pretty true to color. I want to show you a couple of swatches to show you like how similar some of the shades look. I don't really want to make a whole swatching video, and I feel like it's more important to see how the eyeshadow works on the eyes. I'm going to start by swatching Comfort Zone, which is a really nice transition shade, and I'm going to compare it to the shade called Love Handles, which is right next to it. Now, both shades in the palette, they look extremely similar, but when swatched, they are quite different. So that's really good to know. Next, I'm going to swatch the shade Homebody, and I'm going to compare it to Thick Skin. Now, I will have to say, I find that the Thick Skin shade is extremely similar to the shade called Comfort Zone. Both have this kind of peachy neutral undertone. One is just a tiny little bit deeper than the other, but not much. Next, I just want to compare a little bit of these deeper brown purple shades. So I'm going to compare the shade Next, the shade Crazy. Wow. First impression, the shade called Crazy, holy shit, this is extremely pigmented. And I'm going to compare it to the shade called Oh Hello. And I'm also going to compare it to the shade called Stay True. Overall, these deep purple shade, they are quite different to one another, so I'm quite happy about that. And girl, the shade called Crazy is freaking amazing. I'm so excited to put it on my eyes. So maybe just the last few swatches I want to do will be the very light shimmer shades because those also look very similar. So I'm going to start by going into the shade called Ride or Diamonds. Now, to the touch, they feel really creamy, they feel really intense. Next, I'm going to go into the shade called Drama Queen. They look super similar. I would say the Drama Queen shade is a little bit more pink and the Ride or Diamonds is a little bit more neutral. Next, I'm going to go into the shade called Bougie, which is a little bit less intense. And I would say the undertone for this shade is a little bit more orange, but they are very, very similar again. Next, I'm going to go into the shade called Get Ready With Me. This one is a little bit more like copper. It's a little bit more brown, but still very similar. I feel like one of these shimmers maybe could have been replaced with a very bright color. Maybe like a bright like lime shade would have been really nice. Next, I kind of want to dip into some of the more bright colors and then we will get to the try on part. So I'm going to go, of course, into the yellow shade called No Joke. I'm really skeptical. Ooh. It's not bad actually. When I swatched it on my finger, when I took the shade with my finger, it looked really chalky, but applied on, there is a lot of payoff there. Next, I really want to go into the shade called My Man. Ooh, this looks like a really intense coral shade. Holy crap, Jaclyn. You have done it. This is amazing. It's really pigmented. It's super impactful. There's a lot of color there, so I'm really excited. And maybe just the last one, I'm going to go into the shade called Tipsy Girl, which if you know Jaclyn, it's called after her dog. I love her dogs. And this looks amazing. Wow. Okay, I'm super excited. So I'm going to be starting with my eyes, of course. I'm not really sure if this palette is going to have fallout, so I want to make sure that my complexion foundation is going to look perfect. And today I also want to do a very editorial look. I have a little like sketch in mind, so I'm probably going to dip into some of the pinks, some of the purples. I'm not going to use much of the neutral shades, maybe like a couple of neutrals for the as a transition shade, but I don't really feel like using neutrals. I really want to put to the test the bright shades. So I'm going to be starting by priming. I'm going to be priming with my MAC Pro Longwear concealer. I'm just blending this with my fingers, and I'm really making sure to put concealer in my inner corners and my outer corners because, like I said, I really want to do a very editorial look, so I'm probably going to take a lot of eyeshadow around the eye. So first, I think I'm going to jump into a transition shade. So I'm just going to use a small blending brush. Actually, I kind of want to use Jaclyn brushes. To start blending everything, I'm going to be using the JH33 brush, which is a smaller blending brush. And I'm going to be using the shade called Perfectionist. And I'm going to start and blend this in my crease. And today I really want to make a super rounded shape. So I'm not going to take this quite far on my outer corners. I'm really just going to keep it very smoked out in the center. And right away, this shadow, it blends super nicely. It blends super well. I'm really excited. Ooh. All right, so now that we have that on, I'm just going to take a bigger fluffy brush just to blend some of these edges. This is the JH32, so it's just her bigger blending brush. So next, I'm just going to take a smaller blending brush. I'm going to be using the JH40 brush, which is just a smaller blending brush. And I'm going to go right into the shade called Tipsy Girl. And I'm really just blending this in my crease, and I'm not going to take it quite far on my outer corner or my inner. I'm really just going to smoke this out in the center of my eye going up. And so far this shade looks freaking amazing. It looks really pigmented. And I'm just going to go back into that JH32 brush, and I'm going to blend some of these edges. So far these are blending like a dream. And I'm just going to pack this shade on until I have the pigment that I want. Next, I'm going to be using the JH42, which is a very tiny blender brush. It's a little bit more compact, and I'm going to go into the shade called Crazy. Now, the Crazy shade, when I swatched it, it looked freaking amazing and extremely pigmented, so I'm super looking forward to using this shade. I'm going to dust the excess of the brush, and I'm going to start and really concentrate this in the crease, and I'm not going to smoke this out too much. And I'm not going to worry too much about what's going on the lid because I'm going to cut the crease after. And I'm just going to blend a little bit of this shade with the JH40 brush. I see a lot of fallout, so be sure to start with your eyes if you want to do a look using more of these deeper shades. And I'm also going to take just a tiny little bit of the shade called Certified, which is a cream color, a matte cream color. And I'm just going to use this to blend some of these edges. Ooh, now this white shade is really pigmented. Alright, so now I'm going to take a little bit more of that MAC Pro Longwear concealer that's on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take that on a flat brush. And I'm just going to pick some of that concealer up. And I'm going to be cutting the crease all the way through, from the inner to outer corners. Alright, so it looks a little bit weird at the moment, but trust the process, it's going to come through. So next I'm going to use the shade Certified again. I'm going to take that on a JH41, which is a flat brush. And I am going to pack this on the cut crease just to set the concealer in place. Alright, so I feel like this white shade is maybe just a tiny little bit patchy and dry, but it's not too bad. Alright, so now that we have that on, like I said, I really wanted to do something extremely editorial and like weird, so just go with the flow. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Loli Mama, which is again one of her dogs. And I'm going to take this on a smaller blending brush. And I'm just going to smoke this very closely to my lash line. And this is a little bit more of a muted pink. It's not as bright. So I'm really just messily going to blend this very closely to my lash line. And I'm just going to take a little bit more of a precise brush. I'm going to take a beveled brush. And I'm going to pack this in my inner corners, and I'm going to do kind of a line going downwards following the cut crease I just did. Same with the outer corner. Ooh, now something here is going on. It's starting to look a little bit patchy. Yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of patchiness with this shade. It might be because I've applied the white shade before. Something is going on. Everything is starting to look extremely patchy, so I'm just going to remove the concealer I have on my lid with a little bit of micellar water. And I'm just going to go back with a little bit of concealer. And I'm going to do the same, so I'm just going to take the same lolly shade with the same blender brush, but this time I'm not going to set the concealer with the certified shade, just because I feel like it made everything look extremely patchy. So I'm just going to start and pack some of the lolly shade on my lash line. Yeah, already I feel like it's blending better. And next I'm going to go back into the shade called Crazy, and I'm just going to pack this closer to my lash line. So I'm just going to do my other eye off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I've put on my brows, finished my complexion, finished the other eye. Next, I'm just going to continue on my lower lashes. I'm not going to do much to my lower lashes just because I feel like this look is already something on its own. So I'm just going to take the shade called Crazy, which is the deep purple shade. And I'm going to do like a doopy eye effect. So I'm just going to take this line and I'm going to be following the cut crease I just did. So I'm going to do a line in my inner corners and my outer corners going downwards. I'm just going to take that shade on a beveled brush and I'm just going to precisely draw this, kind of like a fox eye look. And for my complexion, I'm going to be listing all the products I used in the description box below. So if you want to know what's on my face, you can check it out. But I'm just going to clean some of these edges a little bit more. All right, so this is a little bit weird, but I'm going to go with it. So next, I'm just going to take more of the pink shade. I'm going to be using the shade Tipsy Girl again with a bigger fluffy brush. And I'm going to blend this in the center of my eye, going very downward. And I'm just going to put some white liner in my waterline. Alright, so this is kind of a weird look, but so far I really love the palette. Now, I didn't use a lot of shades, but so far all the shadows I use are extremely blendable. They're really nice. I feel like the shade Certified made some of the eyeshadow look a little bit patchy, but so far I really love the shades I used. I'm going to finish up my face, add a little bit of bronzer, blush, and everything, make this look come together a little bit more, and I will be right back. Alright, so what I'm doing right now, I really love this. So I applied a little bit of lipstick, but I didn't really like how it looked with this very crazy eye look. So I decided to take a little bit of the shade called Tipsy Girl, which is the very bright pink. And I'm just dabbing a little bit of this in the center of my lip. And I'm also going to smoke this a little bit higher than my Cupid's bow. Now this is, as you can see, a very wearable look. So next, I kind of feel like using the shade called I'm In It as a highlighter. So I'm going to take this on my highlight brush and I'm just going to put some of that. Ooh, yes. Now this is what the look was missing. Holy crap. Now that's super pretty. And I believe Jaclyn used this shade as a highlight for her like campaign pictures. As per usual, I'm going to be extremely heavy-handed with highlight. I'm also going to put some on my Cupid's bow. I'm also going to take some of that with a more precise brush, and I'm going to put some on my nose. Alright everyone, so this is the finished look. So as you can see, this is a super wearable everyday makeup look. I'm probably going to wear this to go to work, maybe do some grocery shopping. But no, being serious, I really love this palette. Now, I didn't really use all the shades. I really wanted to do a editorial pink look today, and I feel like the pink eyeshadows I used are extremely blendable. They're super high quality. I really really enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to using more of like the purple shades maybe next time, and maybe more of the coral shades as well, and maybe more of the shimmers. So if you want me to do more looks with this palette, you can leave a comment down below. I would be happy to show you more tutorials on this palette right here. I feel like this palette, I'm going to reach for it so often because if you know me, I love my purples, I love my pinks, I love my corals. So this is the palette for me. I really do love the Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette, but I feel like I'm going to reach so much more for the second one. The formula is very good. It's the same as the first palette. It's very pigmented, there's a lot of payoff, and everything is super blendable. So again, if you want me to do more looks with this, let me know. I would be happy to do that for you guys. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos 3 times a week, so subscribe so that you don't miss any of my content, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.